Well, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show tonight is GB, Big Stevie, and the one and only Bridgeman. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, all.
Evening, boys. How's the bridge?
Well, can I just say a huge good evening to you guys and massive good evening to yourself, Oxchair, and your techie team. But can I just say to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio.
Here. How we doing, gentlemen? How you doing, GB?
Very well, mate. Enjoying this sunny weather and another fantastic week since we spoke last Monday. It's amazing how much information's came in that week, mate. So it's looking forward to the show tonight, buddy.
No, I hear. I don't think you were up too much last week, Stevie, were you?
No, not at all, no. And I would just like to put it straight that Big Stevie for the drum does not watch Love Island. Just let me tell you that right away before we go any further.
What is it to say, Bridge? Those doth protest too much.
That's the truth. That's exactly what it says.
Carry on, Stephen. Carry on.
Much.
Doth protest too much. Carry on, Stephen.
Bridge, you're a fellow Drum Chapel man. You know me. You know I would to watch that rubbish.
I agree with you, by the way. I have to say it. I'll get at least one or two faces, maybe more.
How are you, Bridge?
I'm okay, pal. I'm okay. It's we're getting there. I'm actually on tenterhooks waiting this bloody announcement about Calvin Bassett. I just don't know what's going to happen here. But it's probably going to happen tomorrow because of the goalie funeral and things like that. So.
All right, Ben. Look, mate, it's never done till it's done, and obviously you never know. Somebody else might come in with another offer that blows out of the water. You never know. It's not done.
I never even thought about that.
I'm sure we'll get it. I'm sure we'll get in that. It might be signed, sealed, delivered as well. You don't know. But it was a sad day for all the Rangers family today, Stevie, when the burial of the goalie, the one and only Andy Gorham. I know you were over to pay your respects, mate.
I mean, Jamba were earlier the day. Andy Gorham, I mean, what can we say about him when it came to being a bear, if he was the playing, he'd certainly been in the stands with us, and a right good blue nose, a right good chap, a down-to-earth guy. Anytime you were in his company, he never acted like a superstar or anything. He just acted like one of the boys, And he's been a sad miss to Rangers. Rangers is greatest ever goalie, and I'll never ever forget the Honk save, And it was good to go the other day and show respects.
Here. Sad passing. Far too young, GB. Far too young. 58 years of age. No time at all.
In today's terms, mate, no. He's a young man still, isn't he? It was good to see McCoy there for him and Bomber Brown as well today. Two of his probably closest teammates there, giving him a proper send-off. Very sad and just a horrible disease, mate.
Here. We'd just like to send all our condolences for Rangers Radio to everybody connected with Andy, his family and his friends. Sad and gone far too soon. Okay, with the game of football on Saturday, a pre-season friendly, Bridge, typical pre-season.
Oh, most assuredly. Some parts it was quite enlightening, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was good to see my team. Although at some parts you would think that isn't my team, Who's that is playing? But I thought that Big Katic never let himself down too much. I thought he looked really big, massive guy.
He's a big unit.
I thought he played quite well. I thought Tavernier and Golson played their normal game. I thought Blackpool played quite well. They kept coming in, nicking the ball and things like, putting a bit of pressure on. But once we scored, I thought the first goal that went in, I wasn't too sure from the angle. I was looking at it, which was through the telly. I thought initially it was offside, and I thought, no, it's no, because the players were doing the celebration. But then it was called offside. But the other two goals were marvellous goals. But the last goal that we lost, unbelievable stuff. Just crazy.
I think it was a decent workout. Obviously, it was decent temperatures. It wasn't roasting like it is today, Stevie, but players get minutes in their leg. Good to see Ryan Jack on the park. I've got a bit of sympathy for Big Katic playing in that left-hand channel, mate. He's not got a left foot, so I don't think that anybody who's watched him seen the best of him. Is that fair?
Aye. But what we've got to remember as guys, it's all about getting minutes into legs, getting players on that part, and letting the players sharpen their pencils, and getting it. It's all about minutes and legs. I thought the first half we were slow, lethargic. We looked at the ideas right away. We couldn't find our men. The second half we came out. We controlled the game a wee bit better, and we started to pick it up and find our way. I've no doubt it's a pre-season friendly, and I've no doubt we will get better as time goes on. Tomorrow night, I'm really looking forward to tomorrow night, West Ham, to see where we're at with these guys. But one surprise there on Saturday, I went to the pie store, obviously, to get a pie, and lo and behold, you're allowed alcohol beverages. So the pie get ditched, and I had a couple of lagers, and I tried to bring them back up to my company that was sitting up the stairs, and I got stopped in my tracks with a big steward double the size of me, and he wasn't one for messing about me, so I had to drink the 2 pints of water. I'm really sorry. I was like Chubby Brown.
There's a few things in that story I want to take you up on. The fact that you binned the pie, the fact that the steward was twice the size of you. Good company, yeah.
Well, just let me tell you, you couldn't see this guy's dicky boy. He had about 12 chins, honestly. So, what a bouncer this boy was, But anyway, look, it was what it was. And I've got to give, again, 10 out of 10 to the Union Bears. Their displays, their white T-shirts on, all organised, and they sang for the game started to finish, along with the whole Rangers support. But they boys are fantastic. They really are. Well behaved, well organised, and well done to them.
You sure that was the Tom Stoltman taking the pints off you? Aye, it was a good day. The support went for a day, had a good time. But the football, Gary, I agree with Stevie. We were a bit slow on the weekend, and one thing that concerns me, and it's only pre-season, and I know, and you can't judge too much. I just think Ryan Kent looks somebody that's void of confidence.
Yep, mate. Apart from his shot and about the 60th minute, that one that the keeper had to palmer the bar, he's not up to speed yet. The thing that I was going to touch on was that the midfield and attack looks pretty awake and alive in these pre-season games. But see, when we think back to that Lyon tournament that we were playing in, and that was leading into the season of 55, these pre-season games, we looked on it right for the very first pre-season game. And the defence side of things is concerning me. And like you're touching on, Knox, a couple of players just still don't look up to speed. Arfield didn't look up to speed in that second half either. And like you say, touching on Kent, just a few of them are just no there yet. And I'm not saying we should start to panic, but it's like I says, we need to get a kind of a defence sorted, and I'm hoping the game tomorrow night we'll start to see that progressing, because like I says, Cholak's came in and he's shown a bit of quality. His goal that got chopped off was actually a very good goal, to be honest. Well taken across with the Tav and then popped in the back of the net, and that's what we're looking for. But going back to Kent, we're looking for more on that left-hand side, Ox.
I don't want to read too much into it. I'm only critiquing what I've saw so far, Bridgman, if that makes any sense. And GB's right, the finish by Kolak shows that he's got that instinct in it in the first half, even though it was all given offside, yeah?
Yeah, it was a good goal. I thought I initially thought it was a goal, but I initially thought that looks offside, and then I heard saw the players all jumping. I thought it must be in then. But no, it was a good goal, well taken. I thought, and it's a long time since we saw someone just doing that. It's just the first game, and he's done it. So I think he's one definitely got a future ahead of him at Rangers. That's for sure. That boy looks good, quality.
Yeah, talking about defence, only my opinion. Unless it was an emergency, I don't think James Sands is a centre half, Stevie.
No, for me, no, definitely no. I totally agree there. Look, again, we get back to it's a friendly. He's mixing it up. He's just probably seen who might be better where. But James Sands for me, no, definitely no. A couple of my concerns, Ox. I know you voiced one of your concerns. A couple of my concerns is, I think I'm very much the same as Mr. Southside at the fact that we're keeping a lot of players in now that are kind of injury prone. I mean, your Ryan Jack, Hollander, all these kind of guys, that, I mean, Roof, I don't know what's happening with Roof, if he's got a Derby on loan or what, but all these guys, and then you've got Suter, who's injured just now, which is, I mean, we've just got him and he's injured.
Well, he played the second half on Saturday, didn't he?
Aye, I know, but yeah, I mean, you know yourself, we injuries lead to big injuries, Ox. We need guys like Golson and Tav, guys that's got to be in that team this year. We need to win this league. I've got a wee worry about guys like that, guys that are only giving you maybe 5-6 games and then they're injured. We've got quite a lot of that through our squad, and that worries me a wee bit. I know we've got new boys coming in, but until they hit the ground running, then it's just a wee slight worry. We'll see where we're at first few games of the season, see where we're in. But that's just a wee worry of mine. But look, I mean, look at last season. We beat Real Madrid and then we get beat with the English team and then we went to the Europa final, didn't we? So the pre-season friendlies don't tell you much, but we'll just need to wait and see what happens. I'm looking forward to them all there, even though it's only a friendly, but I'm really looking forward to going to Ibrox, get in there.
Okay. Aye. Who's Sean for you? I thought the boy McCann took his goal very well and played well when he came on. I did think Big Suter strolled again and he looked a big unit, and hopefully we can keep him fit, as Stevie said, GB. They strolled again. The boy Rabbie came on and beat men a couple of times, showing he's got maybe a bit of trick amongst them, but a bit as well, yeah.
His strength for his shot, I think it was about the 70th minute, Ox. And again, when he came on there, he beat a couple of guys, and then he was just unlucky that his shot just went this wide of the post. I mean, so again, showing his skill, boy's just in for the door, so obviously he's just trying to get to know his teammates and stuff like that. Probably, again, him and Kolak, kind of shining lights. Tav, again, was busy doing the right hand side. That's his great delivery as well for Kolak. Try to think who else. Lundstrom again, kind of past Marks. Davis as well, second half, past Marks. I think I've fun already my frustration player for the season so far, and it's young Scott Wright. That boy can drive, he can get the ball, get himself into great positions, but my God, see when he does, I don't know what it is, but he just seems to lose the ball between his feet, and just defenders just hoover it up all the time off him. I don't know what it is, if it's a lack of confidence or whatever, but he's just so clumsy sometimes, and he frustrates the hell out of me.
I think we've got to watch. We don't read too much into it. I mean, that team are sitting third in the championship, Brad. All right, it's alphabetical order, but that's
a good point. I think all the team. I thought all of our players, the ones that came on, that Big Shooter kind of stood out for a wee while,
I agree.
But I think you've got a lot of really good players there. I thought the goalkeeper, as the poorest I saw McLaughlin play for a wee while, it took him 10 minutes to get himself into position. And once he got there, he sort of strolled it a wee bit, But that, I think, first 10 minutes, I wasn't too keen the way he was playing. and there was a couple of wee mix-ups and things like that. But that can be rushed away. I think the whole team, when they got going, they really looked good, fast, pacey. Even Wright, as JB says, I think just like he's fast. Yeah, he can run like hell. All he needs to do is a final ball. He just needs a final ball, whether it's a ball down the wing or whether it's a ball over the park. I've been a shot, and we know he can shoot. And Kent's a mystery. I'm afraid to say I agree with you. A wee bit of a mystery there now. Although I'm putting it down to reluctance of going into tackles. He didn't want to go in anywhere in tackles, So
Maybe.
that's only happening.
Maybe you're right, Bridge, but you can only listen, he doesn't hide Ryan Kent. He puts a shift in, he comes back and he works for the team, but unfortunately he's judged what he does in the final third, Stevie, yeah?
Aye, 100%. Last year it frustrated me as well. He does the wee quick out the traps, the wee step out, goes one way or the other, and he gets his selling. He needs to start. He needs to get more goals under his belt, Ox. He really does. For the work he puts in some games. I mean, in Europe he's outstanding. But some of the games, man, he gets himself into great positions and you're shouting hit or, sometimes his decision making's not the greatest as well. But listen, I'm sure this season, I know it's only the start of the season, and he does that first half. I thought, man, I mean, me and you turned around and looked at each other and thought, what is he doing, So, but look, he doesn't hide. He knows what he's doing. He's a seasoned pro now for us. He knows what the Scottish League's about. He knows what playing in an Old Firm game's about. And he knows, obviously, by the amount of games he's played in Europe, he knows what we're all about. So let's just give the boy the benefit of a chance to let's see what he can do this season. And then we can judge him at the end.
Aye. I'm not judging him as a player. I'm just critiquing what we saw in the sort of game in a bit, if you like, GB, yeah?
Yeah, no, actually, you're right, because seeing that first half, it was Kent had let the ball slip a couple of times and it allowed Blackpool to get in. And and that again put the pressure on the defence. And I come back to it, I know it's a team game, but I mean the defence just didn't look great at all. And at this stage in the pre-season, I know we're only a couple of games in, but really, if you want to cement your place and show the gaffer that you want to be there, I mean, Golson was the one that was doing a lot of tidying up. And you've got to question the people that's back there. I mean, Borner obviously gets his goal. I mean, it was a fantastic goal. But again, he's got to do what he's paid today, which is defend. And it's the same with Tav. I'm giving him credit for his delivery and his strides down the right. But again, they need to definitely look at that defensive side. That's my main concern for the two games. Even the Sunderland game, although that was only half a game, the defence side of things is a worry. And Bridges touched on the goalkeeping thing. I mean, McLaughlin. I mean, we were all saying McLaughlin. No, I'm not saying all else, but me and myself, I was like, this season it's got to be McLaughlin number one. But I tell you, see that performance and that goal that Blackpool scored. He was rooted to the spot, and you're like, you got to do better there. If you're going to be Rangers number one, come on. I mean, I know it's pre-season, but get stuck in about it.
Aye, there's two sides to that coin, isn't there? If you then rash and you get injured, and then you're knocking number one at the start of the season. But as Stevie rightly said, it's all about getting minutes and legs, and you're right. I mean, Borner has got a flaw in his game where he lets people run at him and he backs off, and for 40 yards out, the next thing they're on the edge of the box before they're tackled. It's a flaw he's got in his game. And Tav, he's always concentrating in the attacking move, one of his greatest assets, but sometimes it's his greatest weakness as well. Bridge, is that fair on the two fullbacks? Well, Stevie?
I think you're fair, aye. I definitely think you're fair. I mean, we all know Tav's strongest points going forward. That's why he's got 17 goals. So last season, was it 17 he finished with?
Something like that, mate. Something like that.
Great same story. But as far as Borner goes, I mean, we all know he got the goal at Paisley that day, the free kick, and that put his confidence through the ceiling. I know it was just a friendly, but that might give him a wee lift getting that goal. It was a lovely tidy finish, cut in, and he bent the ball right round. He knew exactly what he was doing. And let's hope that gives Borna a wee bit of confidence. But you're totally right, Ox. Borna can run DJ. I mean, at a halfway line, and he'll probably tackle the boy in the edge of our 18-yard box, you know. He'll run back with him, back again and back, and then he just puts the tackle in, and you're just sometimes he dives into, and it could give the opponents a free kick at the edge of your box or whatever. They need to tidy up a wee bit. They need to sharpen their pencil a wee bit. I mean, it's like people right say he does that step over one way or another, he either cuts in or he goes out wide. So you make the choice. If he goes wide the first time and maybe cut in the second time, people start to read the game, so they need to start sharpening their pencil a wee bit and coming up with different ideas, using their imagination. But as far as the two fullbacks go, you got it spot on there with the two of them, their strengths and what they're good at and what they're bad at.
All right.
Can I come in that, Ox, yeah?
All right, on you go, Bridge.
Thank you, Pan. I'm sorry I couldn't get on there. I couldn't get from you. There's a story, yeah. No, seriously, I have to agree with yourself and Big Stevie. The way you said that there and what you said, I agree 100%. I thought Bonner's a cracking goal by Bonner, absolutely brilliant goal, and his movement. And he went down and sort of fought with the guy and eventually got the possession. And I thought that was excellent the way he moved it. To be 5 yards and whack, away it went. Great goal, great, as you said. His confidence should be sky high.
It's his swing
on his right foot. And what that showed me is that he can do it. So it's the same as somebody left footed cutting in for the right, you know, which we Kent or something like that, you know. It can use their left. So I think he's got that ability to hit with his right foot. So that gives him a wee chance, back confidence. No, I'm delighted with the fullbacks, delighted.
All right, okay. Right, we'll get these phone lines open. There's a phone-in show, so let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay. We've got to be fair. I thought in the first half, Glenn Kamara looked like the best football player in the park. He was moving away, he was gliding, making the game look easy, but he was getting his jersey pulled and blocked, and I know it's all part of the game, but I think the real game there'd been a few yellow cards, GB.
Aye, Ox. Again, I liked that Blackpool gave us a game, Ox. I mean, pre-season, everybody's also not wanting any injuries or anything like that, but I do like a team that comes out and goes for it and gives us a workout, and Blackpool certainly done that.
Oh, we've been joined by Tosh. Evening, Tosh.
Evening, Ox. Evening, lads. Evening, how you doing?
All right, mate, how you doing?
Just to say though, the praises we got. I spoke to a few of the stewards since Saturday, and they said Rangers is the best away support by far that's ever been to Bloomfield Road. They couldn't praise us like high enough. There was no trouble. A lot of people are boisterous to the drink in the sun and everything, but they could not praise us high enough.
Brilliant, mate, brilliant.
It really was.
I would say that apart from the two individuals I was standing in between.
Well, we had a good journey, my boy and his pal Andrew. Where we were, see where the Blackpool fans were, the other end. We were in that north stand, and I said, "No, I'm getting in that with the Rangers. No way, I'm getting in there." And that's the end. So we spoke to the steward, said, "Listen, we're from South Shore. We live in Blackpool. Going to let us in." And from where the supervisor came, he said, "There was 4,500 tickets for Blackpool. I've just been told they've sold them to Rangers. To hell with it. Let them do what they want." And he let us in the Rangers end. It was brilliant.
Oh, good, mate. Did you enjoy your day, Tosh?
Oh, magic. It's not every day. If you get 10 minutes away, you got to walk and go and watch the famous. Absolutely magic. We were well chuffed. Really was.
Yeah. Stevie?
No.
Brilliant. It was great. Listen, that's the way it should be. I mean, the stewards see everybody's in the party mode. Let the Bears walk round and get into their own end, and everybody's happy. And it was a great day, and it was a good party atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
We're all right ways, you know. And just unfortunately, we couldn't get drinking up to our seats. But Listen, you have plenty of drink flowing there, plenty of banter. The stewards enjoyed it, and I'll give the Polish their due as well. They were in party spirits today. There wasn't a bad word muttered. And Tosh, I ended up in the Gallant Pioneer Beer Garden, and just let me tell you, a lovely wee pint they day in there, and I'd like to thank the staff for looking after me. They brought me our Chris and Nuts and that, wee John and that. All good.
They're brilliant, innit?
The manager, they brought me up dry roasted and cheese and onion and everything, and they got me a big umbrella to keep the sun off me. I was happy days, so I was.
Aye, they're brilliant in the Pioneer, really are. All of them, they're brilliant.
Great.
Aye. What did you think? Who stood out for you on the park, Tosh? What did you enjoy seeing?
I was glad to. I liked a good look at Matonda, because you can only look at bits on YouTube, and he does look rapid. And I hope he's going to be a right fine for us. And me, Tom Lawrence, he was looking a bit, but we divided the bat. I thought a couple of them, just a few those scary passes and whatnot. But man, well, like you say, it's just that they need to get up to speed with pre-season, whatnot. But there's a couple of wee passes, what you doing, sort of thing. But I'm glad to see wee Lawrence and Matonda and Big Jolak or Kolak, how you pronounce it. Hopefully, he's as good as the other two Croatian forwards we've had. If he's half as good, we've cracked it.
Yeah, Bridgeman, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Aye, here, pal. Absolutely, bud. Absolutely. I like to hear Tosh. I didn't realise Tosh lived really local, and it sounds like he had a wee 10-minute walk to the house, and he was there. He was at home, you know.
No, it was brilliant, Bridgeman. Brilliant.
It must have been great for you, pal.
I can remember when I phoned in, I remember I phoned in last year when it got postponed. We were gutted. We the day planned with the Sash Bash in the morning, a Pioneer, and then I went into the game with it all planned, and I woke up and no, the game's been postponed. I said, you're joking me. The one time we get the teddy bears down the road and they're away. So thankfully it was on, and I'm hoping what I say is when my boy works, his supervisor, he's right in. He's like, you've got the Union Bears, they've got the Muckers, and he's right in. And before the game, he spoke to the main steward, and Michael Appleton, the new manager. He popped his head in, and they're talking about it. And I said to my boy, tell him, how do you know, say to him, how do you make this a yearly thing? Bring Rangers doing every year. They're making money for the town. There's no trouble. They bring thousands. The fans are brilliant. There's no trouble. And try and make it an annual thing, sort of thing. Well, we might get, you up in Glasgow, you get a wee weekend in Blackpool. There's thousands of bears in Blackpool. We get to see the boys. It's brilliant. Really would be. So you never know. It's fingers crossed we might get to play them again next year.
That's too much like common sense, Tosh. In you come.
Tosh, I'm glad you mentioned that there about the boys coming down and spending a few bob in the town. You know, everywhere the teddy bears go, Tosh, you know and I know, the blue dollar's unbelievable. What they do for people's wee tunes all through. I mean, even all through the bad times, the third division, all the way up, the blue dollar fed the whole of Scottish football. And it's good to hear some good comments about the Rangers fans and what they've done in the town and everything else. They're all well behaved. And
I've not heard one bit of trouble. I've not heard anybody say a fight anywhere or any trouble. So brilliant. We know. We're like.
There was a skirmish where I was, Tosh. There was a guy selling raffle tickets without a pen.
Well, I was thinking Oxford as well. What I was thinking, so we were talking before the game. There was a wee sash bash before the game. I was talking to a boy, and I said, if Lancashire Police have got any sense, they spoke to South Yorkshire Police, the two friendlies against Sheffield, and see how they policed it. And basically, we spoke to a copper when we were at Sheffield. He said, you can sing what you want. Your F the Pope Brigade's out today. We don't care. You can sing what you want. You're drinking. You're happy. There's no trouble. We're just letting you go with the flow as long as it stays like this. And it did. Twice. Brilliant. We were not one arrest. And that's how it's just what we are. We go places. We drink the place dry, meet new friends, and we get to see the teddy bears as well. So, to me, brilliant weekend. Absolutely. I'm chuffed to bits with it.
Yeah, please for you. Stevie, in you come.
I'm just going to ask Tosh, did he hear anything about a donkey collapsed? I was on the donkeys in that heat, mate. I don't know if the donkey made it, but I'll certainly be making a donation to the animal campaign, okay?
Have you heard what the donkeys get? Half an hour.
Aye, for the lunch. Same
Ah,
as
aye.
Great to hear
Great
for you,
time.
Tosh, and they were queuing up to get in that Callan Pioneer, but an hour and a half before it opened.
Aye.
Aye. Well, where we were, there was on just up the road. There's a wee sash bash for the Blackpool 50 Defenders, the lodge, and that was the same. It was stout. You couldn't move, couldn't get near the bar or nothing. And we spoke to somebody who came. He goes, I can't even get in the Pioneer. So it was absolutely mobbed.
Yeah. Everywhere busy, and it's great to hear that they put that money in.
Aye, I'll tell you it was as well. My mum's neighbour talking to me earlier, said, "You have a good game?" I said, "That was magic." He said, "I came back in the car for Cleveley's and Uncle Tom's cabin. That's right up past, about 10 minutes walk past North Shore, North Pier." And he said there was flags at Uncle Tom's cabin, flags at Ginn Square, flags in between the Imperial near North Pier, loads of flags outside North Pier, and every pub all the way up to the Manchester at Central, all the way up the Dutton's Arm and McDonald's next to South Pier, and the Gallant Pioneer, us at the Sash Bag, everywhere. We just completely took care, drank the place dry, and not one bit of trouble. I've not heard one bit of trouble for anybody.
No.
Tosh, can I ask you a question, Tosh?
Aye, mate,
the Gallant, what did you say? Uncle Tom's
Gallant Pioneer.
Is
Yeah,
that no the Loudon?
I think it was for the weekend.
Very good.
It was enjoyable time and had ball and but all the pubs were jumping and people were in good spirits, and obviously a bit of sunshine, GB, helps.
It does that, Ox. It makes it a nicer weekend, especially if you're down there in Blackpool in the wind and rain zone. It's not that enjoyable, especially for the donkeys. But no, it's great to hear that all the Bears had a fantastic time. The atmosphere watching it on the park looked amazing. And that's all you ask for, is go down and support the team, have a good time and help the economy, because at the end of the day, I mean, for folk down there with COVID and all the rest of it, they've probably been struggling, and there the Bears have kind of probably propped up their weekend for. I mean, it's a non-weekend as well down there. It's not as if that was the fair weekend. Do you mean so?
Wow, can you imagine adding up what we spent? Imagine adding up what's been spent this weekend. Oh, fortune, absolute fortune.
Exactly. I'm not saying it's got to keep people for a year, but at the end of the day, every little bit helps.
Oh, well, yeah, definitely.
Give them a boost, aye. And we're going to remember that Blackpool were a championship side, and people going to be that been a competitive league. And really, in the second half, Tosh, we had them chasing shadows, didn't we?
Aye, it was good to see. Like you said, just a couple of them not up to speed and whatnot. But as well, as I said the other night, the young boys, I was glad to see them get a wee chance. Like I say, we Divine, a couple of scary passes, but like you say, Big Catties, I'm a fan of his. I love him to bits because of that goal at Parkhead. He's my favourite now. But when he went away, I was gutted. I thought, everybody gets an injury, you've got to give him a chance. So I'm hoping he's come back and he's going to be like a new signing for us.
I don't know if that's his position on the left there, defence, mate. I don't think we're fair to him. I just don't think it'd be. If I was playing against us, I would make sure my centre went to Golson to stop that ball, and I'd be quite happy for Catix to have the ball, because it's not. I don't think you're fair on him, because he's not got a left foot on him. He gives you everything. I would like to see him and judge him on the right side of the defence to see how more comfortable the boy is on the ball. You know, he gives you everything he's got. You can tell that, Tosh, but it's a different role. You know? Well, he's hoping. It's only fingers crossed about the new signings as well. But I think it's looking promising. It really is. We've got the right wing covered. Hopefully, with Matonda. Rebo's hopefully that's where Lawrence will come in. The young boy for Bayern. You can't go after 30-second clips on YouTube, can you? But if you come through the Bayern youth ranks, you must have something about you. Aye, but in saying that, we said that about Jordan Rossiter. He captained every from under 15 up to under 21. We said, he must have something about him if he's done that with England. And unfortunately, I thought I'd really good. I had high hopes for the wee man, but injury struck. So, but anybody that comes through the Bayern youth rank, you've got to have something about you, I say. And hopefully, Big Joe, like you say, he's not going to be a knitting. I know he's a knitting's replacement, but let's hope
we've got a thing with the Croatian forward. Let's hope he's just as good as the other two.
Here, Tosh, have you got the telly on or the show on in the back?
Aye, sorry, my boy's playing FIFA. I'll get him to turn it down.
No, we're just getting feedback. I thought you were maybe watching Love Island the same time as you were on the show. You know, I didn't want somebody getting jealous.
Oh, sure, I wouldn't even watch the adverts to it. I cringe when I see it.
So you do watch it then?
No, not a bridge man, not a hope in hell. I wouldn't even. I really swore there. No, definitely no for me.
Oh, very good, pal. Very good. It's very popular in this radio station. Apparently, there are a number of guys watch it. So let's say I'm not going to say too much.
Well, I know what I'd say to them for watching it, but never mind. I'll keep that to myself. Right, lads, I'll let you go and let other people get on. Yeah, brilliant weekend. Just want to phone and let you know what the stuff. Spoke to a couple of the stewards and they're saying, I can't believe it. They said, you're a credit to the club. I think it was on the follow page. Somebody said, you could have thought that was a European final, never mind a pre-season friendly. Such was the Rangers fans. I was like, wow, that just describes that. For me, that says it all. Could we just sang brilliant, 90 minutes, just brilliant. Brilliant, that's what you need. So, sorry, I'll let you get. I'll go. Right, I'll speak to you soon. Cheers, I'll be listening in. Cheers, lads. Cheers. Bye.
Good to hear from somebody on the ground, obviously. He's one of us and he's living in Blackpool, Stevie, but it's good for him as well. A, we won the match, good, and two, showed that the team he supports has got the best support in the world, didn't it?
You hear the enthusiasm in Tosh's voice there, and you heard what he says when he get cancelled during the pandemic. All the heads were done, you know. So what a day for all the Bears that live in Blackpool. The whole place get well looked after. The money, the blue dollar was spent in the place. There was the man bit of trouble, and he's on the moon, the likes of talking to the head stewards and that, and they said that we were all a credit. Absolutely fantastic. And can I touch on something here, Ox? Something that was reading earlier on. It was a wee text for the Union Bears just saying they will be attending tomorrow night in Tottenham's game. Normally they don't attend friendlies, but they're gone tomorrow night and they're gone on Saturday. That's what they were saying. So you're talking about atmosphere. They boys started. But I'll tell you, the full range of saying.
Aye, they worked hard at it, mate. People have different thoughts on it, but we were all young ones, and it's good to see them with a passion for the club. We've been joined by another Stephen. How are we doing, Stephen?
I'm not bad, Ox. How's yourself?
Good to hear from you, mate. How's things in your good? Things going well?
It's nice and sunny up at the West End of Glasgow, as you know.
The West End.
No, not West Ender.
There's big Stevie on the panel tonight, is he?
He is, mate. He's here. He's driving.
You'll be listening, eh? No, I'll tell you what it is, Ox, I'm on to say is, obviously we've got a wee Robert Mulholland parade on the 6th of August. Leeds Drumchapel, Orange Halls at 5 p.m. A wee short walk round Drumchapel, then a wee couple of small refreshments and we bite to eat after it. And it's just a personal invite to all the members of Rangers Radio, from myself and the members of Drumchapel Red Hand Comrades Association. And if you would accept that, it'd be a great pleasure to see you.
Right, we will make sure that we're represented. And somebody will get along to support a worthy cause to keep the memory of somebody who lost their life in Ibrox disaster coming from the northwest of the city. We'll have people there to represent Rangers Radio, mate.
That's brilliant, and plus all the listeners, more than willing to come and follow the parade and whatever. They're more than welcome to come to the night as well. But as I said, it's a personal invite for myself and my members. We'd love to see you there. Doesn't matter if it's one of you or two years, and I mean, the more the merrier.
You're here. Look forward to it for the people who can go, mate.
Yeah, that's it, Ox. Yeah, definitely. It'll be a good wee day. We'll have it, and hopefully the sun's shining again.
I think you'll
walk the streets of Drumchapel.
I think you might be winter by then.
Yeah, maybe. You don't know when you get up in Drumchapel. You get 4 seasons in one day normally, but hello. But we'll enjoy your day, and as I said, if you appear, then we'll sit back and I'm sure we'll get Big Stevie to fling a couple of drinks into you somewhere.
I'm sure that'll be. Listen, can we thank you for all you do, and seriously, I know yourself and all the members of your association for what you do, because everybody needs money, and we're pleased to help where we can for the people involved in the radio show. But what you have done to keep that story alive and let the future generations know what happened to these people when they went to a football match, it's very admirable in the Rangers story, mate.
Certainly, as Ox said, as you said, it's been going on. It was Big Stevie's baby for a while. I would never take it off him, but it's a day we always look forward to in the calendar. And it's the thing with the boys. The boys will always attend, and they get 100%. And everybody else that attends the parade as well.
Yeah. Stevie, you must be proud that people Stevie M. Stevie, you must take a bit of pride yourself that the parade and the memory of Robert has been kept alive.
Oh, 100%. But it was Stevie said it was my baby. It was actually an ex-army boy, Joe Burke. He brought it to life and handed me the keys, and I decided, why don't we take a parade up to this every year and look after a young boy, keep his memory alive, and that's exactly what we've done. Stevie and his boys there in the association have worked their socks off. They're talking about getting a bigger and better monument for the boy, a wee memorial up he's up there in Jedworth where his monument is, and the boys have took the baton on and are going to charge up there here and look after him. Nobody should go to a football match, Ox, and not come home. Young Robert Cahoon Mulholland was 16 years of age. He was a teddy bear, and we'll certainly, between me and my boy, we're up there on the 2nd of January every year in the wind and rain, and we have the parade. And this after obviously the 12th and that, the first month's August, we try to catch the weather, so people attend and it gets a right good attendance. But as Stevie said, any of the Bears, white shirt, black tie, net behind the band and got and pay your respects to a wee bear. It's quite interesting story, Ox, at the fact that the boys with the drum and when we were up there, he used to play for a wee team called the Jedworth Gunners. And I actually looked into what the Jedworth Gunners were about, and it's something to do with the war and the Germans coming out on drum chapel. The church in the old drum chapel was hit with a bomb. The minister there, Robert Purvis, was telling me, and I looked into the Jedworth Gunners, and that's what it was all about. It was something to do with the war effort, and Robert played for the wee team up there, and see the history it came out, just looking into things, it's absolutely amazing. But I'm proud and privileged to keep the Robert Mulholland name going, and I hope every bear in their area, if they've got anybody that passed away, they should all maybe have a wee look at it and do something for the boys. I've no doubt the odd day, but we have a wee parade every year and got there. And we emphasise our love for a wee bear that lived in Drumchapel. And I can't thank even the association. I can't thank you guys in Rangers Radio, who, this year, the money, the donation that we got for the charity was just absolutely mind-blowing. And that's really helped us keep that going. Year, the money that Rangers Radio gave us. But thanks to Stevie, thanks to yourselves, Rangers Radio, keep the memory of that young boy going. And when I was paying my respects Mr. Gorham the day, me and Jamie went out to the John Gregg statue, and you'll find Robert's name 4 bricks down, smack bang in the middle, Robert Cahoon Mulholland, and I always get a wee rub. It's crazy how you get yourself into a it's crazy how you can't walk by it without getting a wee rub.
Look, Stevie, that's a lovely story, Stevie. That's just lovely. Seriously. Well done.
Thanks, Bridgeman.
I just think there was an agreement that the Germans wouldn't bomb Partick because the houses were too expensive, Stevie.
I think that's probably right, Ox, because we're the West Enders. We're a bit higher class, wouldn't we, I think?
I heard you mention Robert Purvis.
Robert,
yes. The minister. I know him.
This story must be real to you because you obviously you were at the game, you're a young man, you spent a bit of time in the drum, so I don't mean to be flipping about it, but that could have been you quite easily, yeah?
Oh my God, aye, absolutely. Although the lad was a bit younger than me, but
I know that.
No, absolutely.
No much.
Very easily have been me. Very easy. I wasn't that far away from when it all happened. Another 5 minutes and I could have been up the trapped at it all, dead easy, dead easy.
And
I thank the Lord. I tell you, I thank the Lord that it wasn't me, and I managed to do what we did to get away from it all, and then come round the back and see it. Incredible, just incredible.
Just another big thing, Ox. See if anybody's ever in Victoria Park and they take the walk round the pond. Robert's actually got a wee bench there as well. And the reason they put a bench in there was because he moved to Partick from Drumchapel and they decided to put the bench halfway in Victoria Park. So if you're ever in Victoria Park, any of the bears listening in, have a wee walk round and you'll see a seat with young Robert's name on it. It's got the badge and his name and everything on it.
Oh, look for that.
And that's a wee story. But listen, it's all about Joe Burke. He's the guy who started it, and we took it on. And thanks to people at Rangers Radio and the Bridge Man who gives me some stuff to sell every now and again to fling some funds in. And there's numerous guys, Stevie will tell you sell. There's all sorts of people phone us and try and help us out with wee things. And by the way, the Rangers family, they get together. It's just unreal. It's unreal how strong it can be.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Stevie, listen, how are you enjoying Stevie R? How are you enjoying the football? How are you, the start of the season?
The start of the season was good. I watched the game on Saturday. I thought they were a wee bit rusty, but I think there's good signs there. I think there's... they'll take these players, they'll take a wee bit of time to settle in, but hopefully not too long. But I can see a wee bit of potential there with the big man up front. I think he'll come good.
It looks as if if we give him a chances, first impression, they will score goals, mate.
But do you play him in front of Morelos, do you?
If I had my way, mate, if Morelos is fit and he's in the team, I would be interested in seeing certain games if he played up top and Morelos played behind him, where Arfield was playing, and give Morelos that role. But that's just...
it'd be interesting to see what he does with it.
Aye. Because
very.
We need to score more goals. That's how we never win the league.
You need to be banging goals, and you need to be banging 2-3 goals a weekend, mate. I mean,
and we never done that last season,
No, that's the goal difference was phenomenal for the other side of the city. That mob, I mean.
Aye, and we've got to get with that. Well,
I know.
Listen, mate, great to hear from you.
No doubt I'll see you when you're back up in the West End, and the West Rangers Radio. All the best, mate. Okay.
Cheers, mate. You look after yourself.
Bye bye.
I love the way he says the West End. I just love that. Brilliant.
Oh dear, that makes me sound posh, but I'm no, GB. I'm no.
No, the cricket club dealt with that, mate.
Bad time in there, right enough.
I bet you did. I mean, great stories. It's great to hear that obviously, let's say Stevie's put a lot of time into that. Both Stevie's there. Again, like you says, it's no. For me, it's not until you get a family and you start looking at these things, you feel it more, especially with a young lad like that. You would never want your son or a family member never to come home for a football game.
Oh, you're spot on, mate. You're spot on. And the people involved, all the people involved, past and present, who are telling that story, to keep the story of Ibrox disaster to the fore, are doing a fantastic job for the Rangers community. I just like to congratulate each and every one of you, Big Stevie.
Thanks very much, mate.
Right, okay. We didn't know that the other Stevie was going to call on tonight. It was very nice of him to phone in and ask us to come along. I'm sure we'll get some representation along there. Somebody's got a nice shirt and tie and a blue jacket or that might want to go. Yeah.
Well, listen, the bridge man's already been up at the wee monument. I took the bridge up one day and we went up to the wee monument and we spoke about it. And obviously, I like to pick. Obviously, Bridge is a man of knowledge. When it comes to the Rangers, you can't buy experience. And I picked Bridges, and what Bridge says there was it could have been any bear, and it could have been him, it could have been anybody. We're all bears, and my God, it's funny how, because I stand at the top of the stairs, me and Jamba every home game, we stand coming up for the Copeland Road stairs there, and that's probably where the nearest point of probably where it happens, and we stand there every home game before, and sometimes after to meet people and have a wee gab and talk about the game and soak up the atmosphere. But Bridge will tell you so. It's a lovely wee monument up there for a young boy, and I hope many towns do the same for theirs. And it's a cracking story about an army boy who thought he wanted to do something for a young boy and passed the keys on to me, of all people, you know. But absolutely love it. I take pride in it. I take pride watching the Rangers family coming together, and more so this radio station. Again, I keep saying it. Don't take a penny for nobody. And what that Rangers radio station done this year, 10,500, and the Guy does a hefty donation towards that. And we can assure you, thanks to you guys, that parade and that boy's name will live on for a right few years yet. That's for sure.
Cheers, mate. When I tracked down the bench in Victoria Park, and I looked up and I seen the famous bench for Still game, I thought it was Winston. It was doing South Side on it, you know.
That's Bridges' seat.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, dear. Aye. But aye, we should laugh, but the boy Robert can't laugh, and it's gone far too soon.
Yeah.
And aye, it's amazing really when we had the night out and people started talking. It transpired that it was related to somebody. Robert was related to somebody. Was at the evening that I didn't know to that night, Stevie. You know,
small world.
Small world. Yes, small world. Right, okay. Look, let's hear what you think of the game. Let's hear what you think of the transfer market. I'm going to go to GB here next. Go on the phones and let's hear from you. But GB, since you've been on, we've been busy.
Very busy, Ox. Very busy. Rumours flying about, and obviously we're looking as if we're going to lose another player, but we're going to be bringing in another player as well. Rumour mill is red hot with Rangers now. I've got to congratulate Ross Wilson and the board. For a time there, it was looking a bit quiet, but they've certainly looked at where our weaknesses are this season, and they've definitely ramped up the urgency to get players in the right places at the right time, I may add. But no, I mean, if Bassey's transfer goes through, which I would, like Bridge was saying, expecting to be tomorrow, it goes with our best wishes, and it's money we can't knock back, Ox. Can't knock that kind of cash back, especially in our league.
No, it's close to what we were all saying last week, Stevie. It's a lot of dough for a boy that, let's be honest, maybe last Christmas if somebody came in and bid 3 million, would you bat it an eye, lad?
No, definitely no. Look, we're a business off apart, but you can't knock that money back. Rangers can't knock that money back for a £300,000 player. Well, let's be honest, he's had a good season. He had a good season there at the end. Big Calvin Bassey. Let's be honest, our player of the year right up to halfway was Joe Aribo, and then Big Bassey took her for there. Tav was up there, but listen, the big man's come in. He's been a good ambassador. He's a nice young big guy, and he's just got a lovable. He's just a lovable big guy. He's a nice big boy, and we wish him all the best. He will 100% go to Ajax, and I've no doubt in my mind, if Rangers have got a sell-on clause, they'll be getting more money off of this big boy, and he probably doesn't realise what he's done for our club. I mean, £20 million, that's that there gives us a lot of money there to do stuff and keep us going for how long. So when things like this come up, it's like Joe Aribo too. People are saying we should have got more and everything else. You've got to look what you're going for. You've got to look what the kid is. And was he good? What the bigger picture is, these boys have been great for our team, on and off the park, never in one bit of trouble, apart from the wee COVID thing where the boys get the pizza delivery. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? The two guys that were there, you know,
40 million quid.
Yeah. 42 million quid, the two guys.
Nearly 42 million, is that right? Is that right?
By the time it's finished, the time it could potentially, you could end up with that kind of donate for the tour.
Please, Rangers, don't squander it, Rangers, don't squander it.
Oh, they'll definitely know, Bridge. I think we've learned from where we came from over the last few years. I think they've got the right people in place. They keep mentioning the lifeblood, the fans, the pillars. You know, the finances we've pulled in the last 12 months, you take it with the start of last season, the run, the season tickets, everything, the players that have went for Gerrard right through, we have made a right few quid. Off the part, it's like well-oiled engine, and on the part, just let's see where it brings us. We've signed a lot of good youth players there. We've hoovered up the best, I think. You know, the young team, let's just see if we've got another few wee diamonds.
You know, Stevie, I'm actually praying that this goes through okay with Big Bassy, and we get whatever it be, the 20+ million, because that we deserve. In my opinion, we deserve that as a club, and the fans have stood behind their club, stood beside us, and followed them on and pushed them on. Right, that's 10 years now. It's been going on 10 years. The pain's been absolutely shocking. And I would absolutely love it if we could, whatever it be, sell another player, but get enough money to see us through for this season coming. I'm not talking and not touch a bit of the Bassey money, and that Bassey money should go to me to clear the debt from the club perspective.
I don't think there's as much debt as you think now, Bridge. You know, things have moved
well,
on.
Remember, we'll get Edmondson House. So
I know, but that's been the plan with that was to be self-funded, wasn't it? And we'll see where it takes us. But
yeah, exactly. I would love to be able to say on our accounts that there's no need for anybody to put their money in their pocket, and somebody's going to guarantee £8 million. No, I want to see it nice and clear. We have some stuff in profit. That's what I'd love to see. Get us in profit.
Obviously, we'll not see this money till 2000
next year.
Yeah, next year. We get the accounts in 2023, mate. So
that's right.
You know, so I'll not be there. But in the last 7 months, maybe 8 months, 9 months since Stevie G left GB, we took in money for him. We took in money for Patterson. We got the run to Europe. It couldn't have been budgeted for. Atkins went. We took £350,000 for a boy that, I'll be honest with you, we didn't know that much about, a 16-year-old boy. And then we'll get potential to take in big bucks for Calvin Bassey. Football-wise, do we want Calvin Bassey to go? Of course we don't. We enjoyed him last season. But we understand the reality and the economics of the game, GB.
Yeah, we've got in this season, Oxford. This season, the now we've got to be business savvy. You know what I mean? Because what's to say Bassey has a season where he's bang average. I mean, the money then just drops right out of him. He's probably got to be at his highest now to sell on, and like I say, that money, if it gets secured, then that's not just making us stronger in like to go and buy transfers. It's going to be make us stronger in negotiations, because the club will be in a position where they might not have to sell. They can go to these teams and they're like, well, if you want our players, you're going to have to pay big money. You know what I mean? Whereas I think the Bassey money, once that comes in, that does settle us a wee bit, that we don't have to purposely keep selling players, if you know what I mean. We could probably maybe hold on to a couple of the good ones in the future, depending on obviously if transfers are met and stuff. Whereas I think if Bassey wasn't getting sold, I think it just leaves us open for the likes of Kent and Morelos just getting sold just because they're in their final years. Whereas I think this money will secure us for a good few transfer windows to say, no, we're just not going to sell them for buttons just because we have to, kind of thing.
It's a business plan off, but obviously when you get to that last year of your contract, you can sign for somebody maybe January, your value falls dramatically, mate.
Yeah. Is it worry in that, Ox? I was going to ask you just before the tune. I mean, with Kent and stuff like that, I mean, with all these players getting great moves, I mean, Aribo's getting a move to Southampton Premier League, Bassey's getting a move to Ajax, one of the top teams in Europe. It's some of these guys in our team, he's got to get turned.
Last time they played the European final.
Aye, of course, mate.
Remember where he's playing. They'll never play for a bigger club, mate.
No. It's just that obviously I'm looking at it. You know what they're like. They'll see obviously Rangers as certain players will always see Rangers as a stepping stone, and it's their loss. But I mean, the heats will get turned, especially with these kind of
the league we're in, mate. It's the league. It's not the club.
Aye, yep, that's it, mate. That's what I'm meaning. Their heats are. Some of their players might get their heats turned because of these transfers. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, listen, I've got a simple view, Stevie. Just quickly before we go to the tune, if players want to go, you shake guns, you try and move them on, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. They don't want to play, they don't want to sign, move them on. They messed about. It's a step back away, no matter what club anybody goes to for Rangers. We're the biggest club in the world in my eyes. And listen, we all know Ajax is a club for bringing boys through and punting on for big money. We all know their motto. We all know their European history and everything else. We know they're a good, big, well-recognised club, but they're no bigger than Glasgow Rangers. So a wee step sideways. We'll just leave it at that. But listen, Big Bassie's done the teddy bears a turn. He's come in, he's been a good ambassador. The boy's been brand new for us, and it looks like we're going to get big money. And we can't knock that kind of money back. We don't get the TV money every other league gets. And Oxy's right, it's a league. Look at the idiots that run our game. Look at the absolute monkeys that are running our game. You know, and that's just how it is. Singe. No, I'll leave it there. But listen, we're Rangers. There's no many clubs bigger than us. Believe me, the only thing's blue that's bigger than us is the sea and the sky. Remember that, GB, son. We are the people.
Get yourself to mute, because we're going to have a tune.
to home.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Well, thanks for that. I've just been sent a message just to close off the fact Blackpool thing, and some of us were in this pub and some of us weren't. The Manchester posted on their Facebook page, thank you to all the Rangers away fans for this weekend. It's been brilliant. You've helped us reach our top record sales and drank us dry. All the best to the next time. The Manchester. Yeah.
Well said. Like it.
Brilliant, eh?
Aye, okay. Right, well, what's it going to come and go as Giovanni Van Bronckhorst started making his own mark in this team? Stevie?
Oh, aye, it started, didn't it? It started where Ebo and that gone, and he's got to bring his own. He's got to bring his own touch into the team, and every manager's want their own team. You know, he's got. Obviously, he's got a certain way he wants to play. He'll have players in mind. If he can't get them, he'll just need to look at other options. But he'll get there in the end. He's definitely now starting to put his own players in place, Ox, 100%.
GB, you were concerned about some of the players that were missing at the weekend, eh?
A few names in amongst their Ox that kind of raised eyebrows at the start of that game when the team sheet got written out. I mean, you touched on it when you're seeing Sands getting papped into defence, and then you're seeing still Middleton on in amongst the squad and stuff like that. Then, I mean, questions have got to be asked. Where's Roof?
Roof's injured.
Oh, he's injured. Yep. Aye. Well,
Roof's injured. Yeah.
Well, Bassey obviously is the obvious one, isn't it? Because he's a big talking point. And then you've got Lowry. He wasn't even listed there as well.
He's injured, mate.
Injured as well. Sorry, mate. I'm not keeping up here.
Not keeping up. Having a mare here.
I'm not going to say the next one because I know.
You're going to say Sakala.
No, but he's injured. I know he's injured.
Well, he took a knock in training on Friday and was told not to travel. But there is strong rumours about Sakala, you know. We'll see what it takes us. Anybody else you want to know about?
No, but by the way, it might be using the Sir Alex Ferguson philosophy. These guys are injured and they're not real injured. It's a David Beckham boot to the eye, you know what I mean?
No, the young Lowry was getting protected, mate. It's only a young lad, you know.
No, I hope so, mate. I hope so. But is that no question as well, mate? Like, obviously, I know he's injured and stuff like that, right? But there's McCann. I mean, he used a bit of nonce the other day there where he put that ball away. A bit of invention. I mean, straight away, was straight on the ball and packed it at the back of the net. Should Reno be giving these boys a chance? I mean, I just feel... I said the other week there, we're flooding the transfers with midfielders and all the rest of it. Should we not just give these boys a chance and try and grab a shot?
The manager's got to think you're good enough. Bridgman. Stevie?
Aye, obviously.
Sorry, Stevie.
Carry on, Stevie.
No, I'm giving way to the bridge.
Oh, he's going to be. He could have a final written warning before the end of July. That's
shocking. I can't get this mute to work properly. Anyway, what was it? The youngsters coming in. I kind of agree with GB. I quite agree with him there. I think that some of the youngsters most assuredly will deserve a spot. I have to say to you, as far as the boy Middleton's concerned, I don't think he's Rangers quality anymore. I don't think he's in it. So obviously, Giovanni...
But if you're trying to move people on, you've got to put them through pre-season, get them fit so you can move them on.
Absolutely, pal. I agree. All I'm saying is, as far as the young lads that are there, I don't think he's going to be one that's going to make the grade.
No.
So
we're hoping to move them on.
They've got to do what they can to move them on. Simple as that.
Little picture, GB. Write that down. You can keep that. Stevie?
Aye. Well, for me, look, there's going to be a time in the season where these boys are going to get their chance and they need to learn to take it. They'll just need to get in, do what the young boy done there. He showed some control, just popping that ball in a wanner. But you've got to protect them too. You've got to break them in gently. You know, it's hard because you're signing a lot of new players and all, right? So Gio fancies all these new guys he's bought. He's going to give them a run in the team, I'm afraid, before the youngsters. And it's just, he's stuck between a rock and a hard place, you know. As a fan, of course, I would like to see some of the young boys get a chance, aye. When you're at Ibrox, you're 2-0 up at half time. These boys should be able to come on the park and take care and show us their stuff, show us what they've got. And I've no doubt that Gio will squeeze them in somewhere all this season. But it's just a matter of when and how we're doing.
I would accept your point, GB, about the pathway being blocked. I hope it doesn't prove to be a mistake in some of the more mature pros an extension, mate.
It was just, like I say, sometimes when you watch like say McCann and Lowry and stuff like that, obviously they're not the finished article, but I mean, look at Joe Aribo. He was the finished article when he came up the road. Bassey, another example. Patterson. I mean, all these guys now have all went for big money. I mean, and that's only because they've had their chance. And I just think sometimes we mollycoddle them too much, as well as just going for it. I mean, what is the worst that's going to happen? They have a bad couple of games. And
beat.
I know, but we can come back for a defeat. I mean, it's just, I understand with Rangers, it's all about the win and stuff like that. But sometimes when you're spending money and bringing guys in for different leagues and all the rest of it, you just hope that they hit the ground running. And so far, by the way, it's came to fruition because the signings so far, for what I've seen, they are showing up. They are showing that they've got a bit about them. So maybe Gio will totally prove me wrong. I mean, with all these guys coming in, but it's just a concern. I mean, when you're sitting looking at that bench and you're just like, well, even that boy, is it Zawowski, that was meant to be Tam's backup. I mean, he was being brought in and he's not even going to get a sniff. You just wonder where all these players are going to get time. I mean, and like you say, Ox, obviously they've got to get minutes for pre-season stuff like that. But we've got such a large squad building here of players that are not going to make us any better. So, like Stevie said at the start of the show, we need to get them shipped out and move on.
That's the hard bit, mate. I've said it before, mate. They'll be on, maybe some of them will be on the biggest contracts I've ever had, mate. So they ain't gone nowhere. Just because we want to move them on, they ain't gone nowhere. It's got to be suitable for them. It's the downside of modern football, Bridgeman.
Indeed it is, pal. Indeed it is. It's I agree with you 100%. There's a number of them are in the, shall we say, the sidelines there, and they're on big money. As far as we're concerned, big money. I'm not saying they're breaking the contract deal, but my goodness gracious, they're getting good money compared to where they've been playing. Some of them have been playing out on loan for a wee while. They're not going to. You're right. They're not going to move. They're not going to move. They're going to wait until the end of their contract, and because nobody maybe want them, you know. So there's a. I don't know how they're going to do it, but we're hoping that Gio has got a plan to get these guys moved on. However, he does.
I don't think that's Gio's job, mate. I don't say that,
but Gio's the man. We were talking, is Gio going to do it? I think Gio will be able to do it. Now, he'll probably pass them on to, I don't know, who is it? No, it wouldn't be Wilson. It'd be
Ross Wilson.
He'll pass that on to Ross Wilson.
These five are excess to requirements, mate. See what you can do.
Exactly, that's what I think he'll do. He might have to do that. Simple. Might be that. That's all there is to it.
Ox, can I ask you a question?
Don't make it too hard. It's Monday. But
no, it was just, do you think in the next couple of friendlies we'll start to see the team that Gio wants? Because as we touched on, like Sands being in defence is just a no-go for me. If we're expecting to start with Sands in that defence and against Livingston, then the panic stations are already open for me. So, like, I'm hoping that either tomorrow night or what do you call it? Aye, exactly. There's going to be a basis of a team there that's going to be what we're looking at come Livingston's game.
I would say that Tav, Golson, they'll start maybe getting 60 minutes and they'll build up. You know, they'll maybe get an R45 and they might have a behind closed door game next week. So they'll play about the equivalent of 2 games. The guys will be your first team. I don't know if he'll have his first team planned out yet, because you need to wait and see who comes through without any knocks, Stevie, first and foremost, don't you?
Aye, but I agree with GB a wee bit. He'll need to start getting into shape a wee bit and start to get his team that he thinks is going to start against Livingston. I mean, we can't, these 2 friendlies, surely we can't do a first half at one team and a second half at nevertheless our other full team. We can't do that, these 2 games. Surely he must be wanting to say, right, this is kind of near to what I'm wanting, and get them starting to play together and get them into some kind of shape. You know, and I know they're only friendlies and everything else, but surely he's wanting to start now knuckling down a wee bit. We're getting nearer the time. I know it's about getting minutes and legs and whatever and seeing who's who, but if you're the manager, you must look at that squad and say, right, that's the 11 I want to start with. Well, when are you going to start getting them playing together, you know? So, what GB's saying there, I agree with him a wee bit, but we just need to remember, I know, we've got a big squad there. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place. He's not going to get to play everybody. Everybody's not going to get a game. You know, we're quite lucky in the SPL. We get the 5 subs this year.
Yes.
Aye. So we're quite lucky that way. But even at that, there's going to be people's noses out of joint getting left out. But
always, mate.
Again,
the hard
when
thing.
they get a chance, Sox, when they get a chance, they need to come out there and leave everything on the park.
I'm going to smack the trees in the leg and just point this out. If you're building a team or a football team or a squad, you ain't getting 11 players fit. You're trying to get maybe 20, 24 players fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got to be aware of that, because the whole squad has to be the same fitness. What's the point of getting Tav and not getting anybody else anything or doing anything, and then all of a sudden Tav gets a knock and the boys 6 weeks behind? You've got to get 20-odd players fit. That's the hard thing about pre-season.
I did say it's about getting minutes and legs up. I do agree that to an extent, but also agree with GB to an extent. We must be starting to get near getting the...
You might find a team might start and there'll be a mixture. Because think about it, we've got experienced players now. You've got Katic, you've got Suter, you know, and Borner and Tav and Golson, and you've got a selection of players that can play the back. And then in midfield, we've got a lot of experienced pros in there. And then up front, we're maybe a wee bit light with the injuries we'll go. Anyway, talking about somebody who's always up front, we've been joined by Andy Felix. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, chaps. Good to hear you back on the airwaves right enough. Missed you, by the way. But, yeah, glad we're back now. I think we've got too many players for certain positions, and we're short on the left back and we're short up front.
Definitely short up front, mate. Yeah, short up.
My left-hand side, that worries the hell out of me at the minute. I know it's only pre-season and all that, but I don't fancy that. And the corners that we're going against us on Saturday, there, right enough, we've still not learned. We still can't defend the corner. We could have been 2 down before we scored.
That's the truth.
They got the headers, mate. The set up. And Alan was in goal, and he's not going to come off his line, is he? He's not. One of them was right in the 6-yard box, mate. I would think that it looks as if we're going to sign on our left-sided centre half. That doesn't give you a good message about Haaland, does it, Andy?
No, I think he'll be away right enough. I think there's no point keeping Roof as well now. You're not going to even get half a season out of him. Jack comes into that. It was good to see him there on Saturday, right enough, but TV breakdown again. What's the point, you know? It's just going to be the same old. He's not going to be seen for a long time. He's brought enough in midfield there, I will say that. It's whether he can play in that shirt when he come out in front of 50,000. That's yet to be determined, right enough. We've got to give him a chance. But the left back worries me. We're only going in with Barisic. Oh, dearie me. I do not fancy him at all. Good great goal he scored there on Saturday. But about a minute there later, one of our players had to dig him out where he nearly get a ball away. And there was another incident there where he was running for the ball, and the Blackpool guy's coming right at him, and he just stopped. He thought, look, I'm not having that. No, there's a theory that he's saying pre-season, right, got to get up to speed, don't go into injury. You pull out the tackles as well, you can get injured as well. So it works both ways, that. He's timid, him. But what you hope is, if he's going to be in the team, he scored that goal, you hope it's a similar in effect. Because he went on a bit of a roll after the last time he scored a goal, didn't he?
Ah, he did. He started putting crosses in and scored a few other goals. But listen, Warner's done well for us for when he signed us. Is he the best left back we've ever seen? No, he's not. No, he's not.
Well, like I said, we're different on that. I just I don't fancy him at all. I mean, he was raving about again there in agony. Although he'd been shot there again on Saturday. I hate that about him. He did that before. What was it, Geratin? I don't know what's up with him. But I know he punched the ground 55 times. The wee diggy guy. I've never seen him. He's the softest craw I've ever seen in my life. I think I'm repeating myself about him. You just don't expect them of that nature, do you? They're all hard guys, get stuck in, they've had to fight for what they've got. He just seems totally the opposite for me.
What did you think? What do you think of the centre forward? I know we've not seen much of him to judge, but
I'm going to odd judgment on that right enough. I'm not sure, but I mean it's far too early to say right enough. Puts me in mind of Hatton, to be honest with you, but we'll see.
He's a lot more mobile than Hatton, mate.
Maybe we'll see. I think it's imperative that we keep Morales, but I'm hearing that he don't want to stay. I'm hearing Kent don't want to stay. It's all they say right enough, and then you've got what's come up tonight that I know that Gio said he's injured, but they're on about Sachin going to Ox, yeah. And the other one that's come up tonight that Galatasaray preparing a 8 million bid for Kamara. Well, they're at that one. He's got a lengthy contract, so they better start doubling that one. If that's the case, the one with players, the players will go. I think Kent's going. I don't think Kent wants to be there. I think he's thinking he's going to come and do it down in England. And again, it's come up down here, Ox, that Leeds are in fifth. He goes to Leeds, right, he'll just fade away. He'll not do well at all in that team. No way.
Can you tell us why, Andy?
I just don't think he's good enough. I mean, he's doing his performances against them, odd one against Aberdeen, but the games that you expect to him, below that, when we can't win them, you expect for that quality and the so-called player we're told he's going to be, he should be putting teams off. He should be the difference. For one each, we'll get a goal here. He's not looked interested at all, other than the European games and a few games in the league. His goal return was, 2 to 3? He's going back away. He's not going forward with the Rangers. He's going back away.
He didn't have a great season as far as goals were concerned last season, but I think in his defence, and this is me playing devil's advocate because I don't disagree with everything you say, in his defence, mate, if he did move to England, he would be playing in a more open game of football, whereas sometimes we're playing against, he's got 2 and 3 men running about him. At least he would have a bit of pace to play. His teams play each other. They try and win the games. Usually, Andy, yeah?
Yeah, but I'll concede a wee bit on that. But Leeds ain't the team that he needs to go to. I'll tell you that now.
Aye, then you come, Stevie.
Aye, Andy, I think we would all agree that Kent's been a lot better in Europe that year there, wasn't he? He was really good in Europe, and that's because you get more time on the ball. I think Scottish football, they double up, they'll kick you, they'll hack, and it's just big farmers' boys taking them out of the game, and they double up on him. But you see the difference with Kent when he was in Europe against Dortmund and that. The boy just ripped him apart. Kent was absolutely out of this world. You get more time, and he gets that wee bit of freedom, and I think he maybe do all right for Leeds if he was to go to Leeds or something. I hope he does now. I hope you keep him. But with Leeds getting that money for that Brazilian boy to sell, there's every possibility they might even come in with a 15 million, something like that for maybe Kent. A wee cheeky bid, in the hope that Rangers might get into them. But I just think, Andy, can I ask you a question? Who the Rangers team do you like?
Jack, but he's not on the back long enough. I like that. Everybody that turns out for Rangers, I love, as you know, right? But listen, you've got to be honest. I just talk as I see it. See, mate, I'll always come on. If I'm wrong, I'll come straight on here and say I was wrong. You know, I got it slightly wrong about Lumsden, didn't I? But no, look, I just don't find it. I don't like players, in my opinion, that are not going to get their all for Rangers. And I don't like, you're talking about Ken, right? I get that. You're great. But if you're a very good player, or a very good player at the top end of the game, right, they counteract them positions. If they're going to get 2 and 3, the special ones work it out. He's not working it out. That's all I'm saying. You know, he's not working it out. He should be beaten. It don't matter whether it's 2 or 3 guys on him at St Johnstone or Motherwell. He should have the savvy to work that out. He's been there long enough now. You know what I mean? It's just, you've got to up your game. You've got to find solutions. It's like everything in life. If you're not getting it or something's not happening, find another way.
Find a solution how you get a Saturday.
Find a solution.
Find a solution how you get a Saturday off and you can go and watch the Rangers in Blackpool. Is that no?
Well, don't get me started with that one. That was absolutely fizzing on that one. I did it all ready to go. Mind you, I probably got the bloody wrong train back home. I did the last year I went and we wasn't playing.
We've been joined by Alex Wishaw. Evening, Alex.
Oh no, not him. Good evening, Oxford, Bridgeman, Big Stevie, young Gary, Alex, and Andy.
Evening.
Good to hear from you, mate. What's on your mind? What's yours, Alex? Oh, we lost him.
There must be foreigners with a phone box in Wishy. The pips have went.
His phone is for the cross keys.
It might be. It can't be his turn for the internet. It'll be back with the same. Look, I think we're having an evolution of our squad. I think it was Southside that said it on the show. He said we need to freshen this up. We need to move players on before they get stale, and we need to get money for them. And I think things are moving. People's favourites might go. I mean, I know Fox was a particular fan of Joe Aribo. We all know he loves Tav. He's got that Tav tattoo, hasn't he? But players come and go all the time, Andy, and it's part of the modern game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we said this at the end of last season, didn't we? You know, we expected it. There's a cycle in football, isn't it? 3 to 4 years. You know, some of the guys have got to be moved on. Look, where we've been buying for or loaning for the last few years, we're actually taking it. If this guy comes to Liverpool, I don't know them. I thought it was the other guy, to be honest with you. But you're actually signing to Liverpool and Bayern Munich. That's a far, far bigger step than where they've been a long time. You could turn around and say, well, why are they Bayern Munich and Liverpool letting them go? But that don't matter. It's just whether they fit into the Rangers shirt and they come on and they get us and they perform. I mean, Lumsden's your biggest case. He was out the door, wasn't he, at Christmas? Now look at him now. Everybody loves him. My apart from the banger Alec, he picked him right from the start, right enough. But
what he knows about football, you could write in the back of your postage stamp. But
well, that's right. He got the one right, didn't he?
But I'm listening, mate. Also, you could throw Bassey into that equation. Let's really be honest. If somebody had come in and signed Bassey for £3 million back in Christmas time, nobody would have batted an eyelid.
No, but I mean, look how that's turned out right enough. He was 2 of the 3, wasn't he? I mean, the other one was Patterson. Look at the money they got for him. Nearly, was it 22 and 16? He just short of 40 million, in it, with the add-ons and all that for the 2 of them guys. They were the 2 guys that were involved in that. I think they were stitched up, to be honest with you. Right? They shouldn't have been out, but I think it would have been as bad as what they said it was. They would have got rid of them, wouldn't they, because there was an outcry. So good on Rangers for holding on to him and getting the money that we got for him. You've got to say that was good business, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, I think Alex Wishaw's back ways. I hope he is. Must be his turn now for the internet. How we doing, Alex?
I'm sure about that, Alex, yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, Christ, there's other what was happening in this house, man. What was I saying about the team? I'm looking forward. We're looking forward to this year. Some good signings there. We'll see the team tomorrow. We'll have a good idea who's all playing. And with the Spurs game as well, that'll put us in good stead for the season.
Where do you stand? You're a certain vintage, mate, and players come and go, your heroes come and go. You have to evolve, eh? Oh, we lost him again. I think we lost Alex. As I said, GB. See, we lost Alex.
Aye.
Calvin Bassey's will go. Certainly, what do you call it? Some clubs give me that sort of money. You can't refuse that. He's the same as well. Much we don't want to see the young fella going in Hobbit. So you get him for £300,000. So you've got to thank Stevie Gerrard for putting all these players. There's a bid in for Kamara as well, I heard there, like, you know. And that's just a joke with her. I think it was £8 million, one of the Turkish teams. That's every player's got a price, that's right, isn't it?
You're right. Every player's got their price. GB in, you company, Stevie.
Aye, Ox. I mean, again, Rangers have been on the ball with contracts and stuff like that. The whole Golson scenario, we were, as far as I was aware, offering contract and wanting it renewed, and you're always going to be in the lap of the gods with the player's decision at the end of the day, isn't it? If they want to stay, they'll stay, and if the money's right, they'll move on as well. And as we're weighing up, and like I said, I was looking at the bench, and I know a lot of them were injured, but as much as we're light up top, there's bids coming in for supposedly for Roof and stuff like that. And I understand that the club would be looking at to move on these kind of players because, as Stevie says, we're needing new guys coming in who are fit and ready to make the challenge onto the team, and that was my whole point as well about how I want to see the team that we're going to be focusing on for the season. Hopefully tomorrow. It's just, I think we need to be on it for the get go come Livingston. We can't have.
I'll say it again, mate. You need to get 20 odd pros fit, no 11. I
know, but mate, do you think in the especially SPFL you're going to have a nucleus of 11?
It's how are you going to play a whole season with 11 players, mate?
Oh, Golson and all that. I mean, they're your mainstays. All I want to see is a kind of.
And what happens if Golson runs into Tav in the last warm up and the two of them are out for 6 months?
I know it kills it. I know it's just.
Come on, think about it. You've got to have more than 11 players. You'll get an idea. You'll see who's playing the most minutes, but you have to try and get about 20 players. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to Stevie. We'll be joined by Stuart. Evening, Stuart.
All right, pal. How you doing?
All right, mate. Good to hear from you, mate. What's on your mind?
It's just to say that, like you said, the Calvin Bassey transfer. I think it's a sensational transfer. A sensational selling fee and stuff for Rangers.
Yeah, good money. Aye. Carry on, mate.
No, just basically to get a 10% selling fee and over €20 million anyway. Basically get all that. Basically is superb for 130,000.
Stevie.
I totally agree with the guy. It's unbelievable what we're getting for the boy. You know, I mean, it just shows you he was in the Europa Team of the League, Team of the Year. He had a good Europa final. He had a good Scottish Cup final. He had a cracking second half of the year. Let's be honest, Joe Aribo was the Player of the Year right up until he went to African Nations. And the big man, to get that kind of money for a boy we paid, $300,000 for? It's just it's a phenomenal piece of business for Rangers, and it's a piece of business that where he'd go to rule our heart. We want to keep our best players, of course we do, but when somebody's coming in for that kind of money, it's just you've just got to say what it is. You know, it's some piece of business in Rangers' behalf, Ross Wilson. And if Ross Wilson's managed to get now, I've heard all different prices. I've heard 22 million with 5 million add-ons and 10%. Until Rangers tell us it comes out and it's 100% set in stone where it is even our 20 million. It's some bit of business Rangers have done there. And I hope there's maybe 2 or 3 more of them happening at the end of next season, you know, and that just keeps the club ticking out lovely. But I can only agree with the guy. A phenomenal piece of business, but he'd have got to rule our hearts sometimes. You know, better players at the club than Calvin Bassey, believe me. So, at the end of the day, we've got to look after the business side of things.
See, 100%, that's how I see it. I know, like, even the Joe Aribo transfer, I think we were actually robbed of that. But for me, £10 million or whatever it worked out as, 300,000 or whatever it was brought in for, that's still good business, you know. He's a top player. We should have got a lot more for him. But £10 million for £300,000 or whatever, it's superb.
You're right. I mean, I think we all agree that Joe Aribo, and I hope Alex from Wishaws get his thoughts on it, is worth more and that kind of dough. But that was a get-out clause he'd signed in his contract, so you're stuck with that amount. Alex, you with us?
Hello, folks. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, mate. Any thoughts on that? The boys, Stuart's saying good bit of business if the Bassey things comes to fruition, which it looks as if it does, and then Joe Aribo. Is he worth more money? We know he is, but he was into the last year in his contract, the get-out clause, so you're hamstrung a bit with that one, Alex.
Correct, absolutely, and this is the result what's happening with the Morelos and also Kent here. These guys need tied up before the last year, and this could, we could call it, go the exact same way as well. They could just sit there and sign a January pre-contract and go for nothing next year. So it's ideal, maybe 2 year, to speak to them 2 year out, to get them to extend their contracts, and then you get a better price on them. But Joe Aribo, what a football player, by the way, and I'll tell you now, if we went to Southampton, that guy he'll go up another level, without a doubt. Calvin Bassey's the same. He had an absolute purple patch the last 6 months of the year. The 6 months previous to that, when he played centre half in that way back, he looked a bit suspect in that, we said and that. But he came on to a right good game. And that's the time to sell guys, when they hit a purple patch. And that's when you'll make the big money. We don't want to see our players going. But the point is, we're a selling club now, and this is what it's about. We're bringing guys in and moving them on. I'm optimistic this year with the signings he's made, and I think we'll come good. The next 2 games will give us a better idea. As I said before, West Ham will be there tomorrow night and Spurs on Saturday. And I'm sure G will get it right. It took me a wee while to go over the UEFA Cup final because it really put us on a damper. That was a golden opportunity to win that trophy. And we just failed there. And now we're all built back up now for next year again. I hear a lot of negative about the players that we've brought in, but you've got to give these guys a chance to settle in. And just believe in the manager.
You don't know when the next Glenn Kamara, you don't know the next Joe Aribo, you don't know, you just don't know who's walking in the door. Every player you signs up, because you don't pay 30, 40, 50 million for them, doesn't mean they can't turn it for you, work out for you. Bridgeman. Stevie?
Yeah, I'm here, pal. I'm here, buddy.
Go, Bridge.
We're waiting. Stevie, in you come.
Aye, it's 100%. Aye, you just don't know who's going to walk through the door with wee gems. I mean, Rangers bought a lot of youth players there, apparently hoovered up on the best ones, so across Europe. So you don't know what one of these boys are going to end up being a wee diamond in the dirt, It's your Donald Duck. Every time you buy a player, it's a gamble. Doesn't matter if it's Ronaldo, Messi, he might not be good in your jersey. That's the bottom line. So we just need to wait and see. As Alex Wibisha says, he's quite optimistic about the players he's bought. I mean, how long did it take Lundstrom to settle in? But we all wanted rid of him at one point when he got sent off against Malmo, and that was that. Everybody wanted rid of him, and then the big man dug his heels in and settled in and let the player he's turned out to be for us. So we need to give people a chance. I mean, there was a video of him a day, I think it was Kolach and the boy Rabbi walking down the tunnel at Ibrox, Rangers TV. I mean, the boys are just settling in, man. They're not even dust on them or nothing yet. So let's just see what they bring. Doubt in my mind, Rangers aren't buying players because they're no good. So just let's see what we get, and let's just get behind the team the best we can. And the two teams that are remaining, West Ham and Spurs, that will tell its own story, and that will give us all a better idea. Let's see where we are after that, guys.
Andy, then GB, quickly.
Yeah, you've got to get the guys a chance, right enough. I actually think we've got three diamonds there, right enough, and if they're given a chance, I think they'll shine. And that's McCann, Lowry, and King. We can't, wanting to put these guys out on loan, any of them three. And why are you going to send them out on loan in Scotland? That's not going to help them. So we'll have to persist with them. If they sit on the bench, come on, influence games for half an hour, get a shot when somebody's injured and go on and have a cracking game. Because I'm convinced that Lowry will go on and be a player, hopefully with us, but wherever he goes, you'll hear his name for a lot of years in front. I think King's an absolute great centre half.
King could be in front of Lowry. I like Lowry as well, mate, if I'm being honest, yeah.
Yeah, King looks assured. He looks way above his tender age there. And I like the look of the boy McCann, I've got to be honest with you. I think there's something about him as well. That goal he taken there on Saturday, you know.
I know somebody's been banging his drum for a while. Port Bell has been banging on about the boy McCann for a while. GB.
I mean, like I says to you, the signings so far that the boys that have come in, business-wise, we've done great again. I mean, there's been a free transfer, a loan, and then we spent a couple of million on Cholak. So there's not been big fees paid out, but there's potential there. We're seeing that, like say, Cholak, with the way he played the other day there against Blackpool, he's got something about him. The goal he took was, I mean, he's not a bad player if he's been able to take that touch and bang it away. So, and again, same with the Sunderland game, he had a touch like that and just put it just wide. I mean, so the boy, I think he's got to come good for us. Lawrence will probably have a wee bit more. He needs a wee bit more time because of the way the midfield is and stuff like that. And Matondo came on, and again he showed promise. That was my whole point, Ox. I want these guys to get in amongst the team, and like you say, the squad, and get them up to speed, because I want, on Livingston game day, I want them all ready to fire and eat this league up for us this season.
Anyway, before we talk about the draw for the Champions League, we've been joined by BH. How are we doing, BH?
How you doing, guys? Memory like a sib, so I don't remember all the people that are on the call. Just to say, you know how we've got the different, 4 main signings and the guy that's a loan for Bayern Munich. But I'm thinking about the guy.
Try before you buy.
Sorry?
Try before you buy.
Try before you buy. Aye, exactly. That's brilliant. I'm thinking about the guy Ben Davis. Mm-hmm. All the stuff I've heard, I've read. It's all as if he's just this guy that's come in and he's going to a swap in for Bassey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it.
I see him playing left cover, because with Hollander and Bassey, mate, we become really short of left-sided centre halves, mate. Everybody else is right footed.
Yeah, 100%. 100% with you. Yep. Well said, Ox. That's what I'm thinking. I think Soot on the right, Hollander in the middle, and Ben Davis left.
Where's Golson?
Bassett's in front. Shit, no, sorry. I wrote down the wrong name. I meant to write down Golson, not Hollander. Golson in the middle, Suter to the right, and Ben Davis to the left. I put Tav in front of Suter, Barisic in front of Ben Davis, knowing the pitch like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at all these different midfielders we've got, and I've not got a clue what's going to happen, but I was thinking possibly Lawrence with Lundstrom in the midfield in Scottish games. Not particularly for European games, because it's tougher to play, so got to set up different. And Kent and the wee guy Matondo on the other wing, and Cholak up front, and just go at teams. So you're playing with like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sort of 7 guys attacking you at once. And that same team can fall back into a 5 defence. And you can also pull Lundstrom back and let Lawrence just sit in front of him, because seemingly he can play that number 10 role as well.
Well, we'll see where it goes with that boy Lawrence. I mean, obviously he played out in the left on. I don't think he touched the ball hardly at the weekend, but you can't judge anybody in his first performance. He's a bit behind the pre-season.
Just for fitness, innit?
We'll see where it takes us. But look, there's a lot of decisions, and you've mentioned the flexibility about maybe playing a 3-5-2. Is that something you've thought about, Alex?
That's quite a good. That's a good idea. To be quite truthful, the way it's panning out. Ben Davis will probably come in there left sided because we're short there now with Bassey getting away. And also it's competition for big Bonner Barrett. Let's be quite truthful. He's not the greatest defender. So maybe putting him one forward's maybe a better idea. I'm quite intrigued to see exactly how it's going to pan out with the squad and that, how he utilises it all this year. But I've no doubt we've signed some right good players there, Oxford. And I'm really looking forward to it. And as I said before, we'll get a good look at them tomorrow night because this is a step up for West Ham. And you'll have the same with Spurs. You'll get into that game in Livingston and we'll get in there all guns firing. European tie and all. That's worked out favourable as well. The away games at Ibrox and that. So it's not going to be a gimme, as we know. But the experience we've got in Europe now, I'm confident we'll get by this team.
Aye, the draw. What did you make of the draw? I mean, just get the pronunciation right. Or you want to have a go at pronouncing it, GB?
I'll pass, mate. I'll leave it to the expert.
The Belgian team.
The Belgian team. Aye. The champions in Belgium.
Not the champions, but what we say? How we pronounce that? Union. We can manage that. Saint Stevie, remind you of school, and Guy Lossy.
Reminds you of school.
So a favourable draw, Stevie. Could have been worse.
Aye, definitely. It could have been worse. I think a wee trip. I was actually with Mr. Southside this morning when it came through, and it punched the air. A wee trip to Belgium, absolutely fantastic. So I think most of the Bells are happy with that. And let's just see that the first leg obviously is away, which is a wee bonus as well. It lets us get to grips with them and bring them back to Ibrox. So we'll see what happens there. I think the draw it was a favourable draw. And listen, after last year, we'll not be counting our chickens. Just let's see what it brings, boys.
Yeah. And Bridgeman, obviously, it's always emotional for you because of Dunkirk when we go back to Belgium.
Dunkirk, aye, absolutely. If you end up in Belgium, you're there. There are a million battlefields, I'll tell you. Nah, seriously, I agree with what the boys have said. I think it's smashing that it's an away game. It gives us a chance to go out and play against them, see if we can get their strengths, gauge their strengths, and come back with a result. That's all I ever want from an away game. Come back with a result, bring it to Ibrox, let's see how we go on at Ibrox, because Rangers should run out. I don't know the team, I know nothing about them, I'm just going that they're not known, and Rangers were in the final of the Europa League basically last season. So Rangers are a good club, well-known club, and they should be able to handle that, I'm quite sure.
Andy, the favourites in your eyes?
I would say that's a 50-50. The Belgian champions, it's a decent standard of football there, a very good national team. Just read there, I didn't know nothing about it, never even heard of him. That shows you how stupid I am, really, because, Belgium League, and I don't even know who the champions are. But
champions,
we've got to be careful. Are the champions? Belgian champions?
A second in the league.
Was it second? Well, second then, whichever. I just think we've got to be cautious with them. I just read there that they beat Feyenoord 4-0, or they're a wee bit into their season and all that, and we're saying don't take friendlies, but that's quite a big score, that, right enough against them. So it's not going to be that easy. I think we'll roll with sleeves up, get a decent result, come back to Ibrox, Paulus, get them going. Hopefully we get through, and then it's next round, and the opposition will go a wee bit higher if we get into the qualifying round, won't it? That's just my take on it. Well, I don't know nothing about him, to be honest. Never even heard of him.
No, I don't think
again.
I don't think
there again,
I don't think you're alone. But Alex, are we favourites in your eyes?
Definitely. There's no way to call it Rangers are far too superior for that team. No question about it. And you'll get through to the next round. I'll tell you, Oxford, I'm optimistic this year. We're going to do really well. I think we'll go for the treble and we'll get a good run in Europe.
I hope you're right.
I'm feeling that one.
You've got to back a team here, Andy. Honestly, this is the thing. This guy's got his chance now. This guy's come in now. Right. Gio's come in here and he's picked the players now. This is him get his own players, basically. And we'll see how we go. Last year we get a good run. The problem we never lost the league. We lost the league last year because we never scored enough goals. That was the reason. And I'm almost sure you'll go one better.
And also, if we're also being honest and truthful about it, they did manipulate the fixtures and change the rules halfway through the season to favour some teams.
Yeah, 100%, Ox.
Mm-hmm. Let's be honest about it. We were on a good run of form before we were due to play Aberdeen in that mob, and the games were moved to a different time. To after our players come back from Africa, who was the player of the season up to Christmas time, Joe Aribo. Stevie's right. That's a fact.
Are you telling us we were cheated?
I'm not saying that. I'm just stating a fact. Yeah, there's GB.
No, you're 100% right. We were on a great piece of form. Gio was on a bit of hype because he came in. The team were kind of galvanised as well. And I think we wouldn't have dropped the points we dropped, definitely, against the two teams, mate. But it is what it is. I mean, this season's got to be interesting as well with the break because of the World Cup and stuff like that. So we're going to have to, again, keep the players ticking over at that stage of the season. So it's I can't wait for it to start. It's got to be, especially like Alex is saying there, this is Gio's team now. He's got his players in that hopefully he's been asking for. I really do hope they're Gio signings. I hope it's not just Ross Wilson offering players. But if it is his signings, then let's see what our managers got for us.
I agree with Alex. I think a manager's got to be allowed to build his own team, Alex, and then we'll go to BH after you.
Absolutely. We'll see what it's all about now. If they get away last year, he can pick, what do you call it, positions. He knew we were looking for a right winger last year, albeit they brought the boy up from Manchester United and he never really got the hair on fire. And the striker side, you've got to remember, we went there to a European final without a striker, really. It was quite amazing. It was all tactical how we managed to get there with Gio. And I'm almost sure, I'll come on here if I'm wrong, by the way, but I'm almost sure, by the way, this guy will get it right. And these players he's bought, I'm sure again, will go on to another level. Definitely.
PH.
Well, excuse me. I just think that going through the season, we don't have lots of callers on giving it how Gio doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't understand tactics and stuff like that this year. Because I think us getting to the final.
The first time we have a draw, mate, will happen.
I'm just saying, but I think getting to the final, and I mean, we don't get beat with a penalty kick, and we didn't have a striker. There was no striker. But I hope people don't. I know there's a couple of years that have said the same thing, but I hope people don't go thinking this is Gio's team, because this isn't Gio's team. He's only brought in 4 players. I think you've got to give him the next couple of windows and then say this is more like Gio's team. Because there's a few players that have got, well, quite more than a few players. We need to shift it. So, because you bring 4 new players in and a low knee for Bayern Munich, still a kid, I don't think we should be calling it Gio's team yet.
No, but
I think it'll be a great season. I think we'll definitely win the league. I think we'll definitely win the Scottish Cup again. If we don't win the League Cup, I don't care, because to me it just doesn't count. And I think we'll have a smashing run in Europe.
All right, I'd take that. Well, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. What do you make of that, Andy?
Oh, that's great to have you back on. Good discussions. Missed these all. Good. You know, all we're doing is putting thoughts across. We'll see how it comes out when we start playing properly in a couple of weeks, won't we?
Cheers, mate. Always good to hear from you, BH.
No problem. Enjoyed it.
Thanks for the call, BH.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you. Loved it.
Speak to you soon.
Right.
Do it, Alex, for my show. Cheers, brah.
Thanks a lot, Steve. Good the show's back on again. Thank you.
Yep. Over to you, GB.
Great night, Ox. I mean, it's the time's just flew in, and it's because of all great points, and Rangers is keen as hundreds of talking points. So long may that continue, mate.
Big Stevie.
I'll like him on to clear my name. I don't watch Love Island. I'll like him on to clear my name. Can I just say this? We're all Rangers were a hard bunch to please, and the guy's probably right. The first draw, the first points we drop, Gio no clue, get rid of him, not a but it's just who we are. We just want the best for Rangers, and we all look at things different. But before the ball's even kicked, let's get behind the troops, man. Let's go, man. Let's get behind them, give the players a lift, and let's just stick with them. Let's see where it brings us for the start of the season. Thanks for having me, Ox. It was good to be Bridge and GB and that. Brilliant, and it's good to hear some of the callers. Great to be back.
Yeah. Who went out tonight, Stevie?
Huh?
Who went out tonight?
Who went out tonight?
I love Ireland.
Bridgeman.
Bridgeman and
Bridgeman, what a man. So over to me?
Aye.
Right, thanks very much, Paul. Can I just say, a smashing night, as the boys have said before. A great night. Well done to yourself, Oxchair, and your techie team. Can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, we're ready. We're ready for the next game. Let's go and do it, Rangers. Come on, everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers are in our heart and we need to do it. Keep it going for the Rangers, everybody. Keep it going.
Here, can I thank all the callers that joins us tonight? Tosh, Stuart, Andy, BH, Alex. I think I've caught everybody. Okay, and also thanks to Bridgeman, Big Stevie, and of course the one and only GB for joining us on the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals, or other people making our social network platforms work. And we'll be back on Wednesday this week. After the West Ham game, we'll be joined by Southside, Port Bear, Lord Billy, and the one and only Linda. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. Take it away. Old School Blue.
We support the Glasgow Rangers, doing it Ibrox is the place, and we will follow in the championship race. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. It's true, the magic boys in blue are the best team in the land. You've got to queue and govern to get a ticket for the stand. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. We've spent a lot of money on great players, yes, that's true. But the Rangers fans deserve the best from the boys in royal blue. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Ago the story, it was dismal, full of gloom. Now we're building an extension for the Ibrox trophy room. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. In Europe we'll be travelling by land and sea and plain. The teddy bears have got the bears and we're on the march again. team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all. Yes, it's true, the boys in blue are just magic on the ball. The Glasgow Rangers football team's the greatest team of all.